Where do you think the market's headed? Do you think we're more likely to see the market fall over, roll down, or do you think we're likely to see the market grind higher to a new all-time high? In this video, I'm going to use the sectors, what's currently happening, what happened today, where the sector rotation currently looks like, to get a better feel for what we're in store for the next 3 months as we go through June, July, and August, the summer months. Now, as I record this video, it's currently the beginning of June, June 12th, and as I make this, the S&P has just been grinding up higher, but it doesn't feel like it has a whole lot of strength. At the same time, it doesn't feel like it's likely to have the rug pulled out from underneath it either with some giant puke like what we saw early on or even COVID days. You take a look at the sectors, and out of the 11 sectors, there's nothing that's red on the daily time frame, suggesting there's really no big cautionary sector, if you will. You switch over to the weekly time frame, and there you see still two sectors, XLV and XLE. What's interesting is XLV and XLE both look like some of the nicer sectors on the daily time frame to actually start to get long. You take a look at XLV, and it's starting to show some strength of buyers near our Fibonacci extension. So if we do get that second leg down lower, just a little bit of retest near that 132 zone, that's a really nice entry inside of a sector that still is now showing signs of having more upward room. Same thing with XLE. Now with today's activity, here's what I thought was interesting. At the very top, you have XLU. You come into an intraday chart of XLE trying to see when did it signal, hey, that you should expect the strength today. Early on in the morning, we see XLU rally straight into our volatility box models. After that, we see the sellers reject price level. You see us come back down to about the halfway mark of the opening range breakout before we find support, and we see the rally making new highs into the close. I would imagine this pattern is indicative of a choppy market and one that you could take advantage of in just the sectors. For example, we saw XLU, you come into XLK, and you won't be able to find that same strength. You will find this in other sectors though, so it's all about finding the sectors in which the volatility is in play. XLU, XLV, another one which we talked about earlier, XLE. Same idea inside of XLE. We saw the strength early on in the morning, and after that strength, we continued to break above that previous high to make new highs and even new highs further into the close with the aftermarket. So I think some of this sector rotation sector plays XLE, XLV with intraday volatility, especially with the volatility box, is going to be a really nice move for this summer. I think we're in for a choppy summer. That's what I believe. I think the market, if we come into the S&P 500, doesn't have any clear direction here, and we already have the summer lulls. So above 613, I'm sure you have a ton of stops, so it feels like, okay, what, you're going to let those stops live? Of course not. The market's going to take them out. If we're going to just have a rug pull here, maybe a gap fill, that feels a little bit less likely. And you look at something like the VIX, which has already popped early on in the year, doesn't show us a lot of signs to break above 50, which is what I think would trigger something, a catalyst event of that nature. So I think the intraday volatility is where the opportunities are at while we go through this chop. Positioning yourself on the swing trading basis, for me, feels really hard to do right now just because there's no clarity and we just seem to be grinding up. If you're in options, those options, the premium's getting eaten away. If you're selling the premium, there's not a lot of juice inside of those premiums. So in either case, I'm not sure there's a winning strategy with options. I think the intraday is a little bit safer bet. I hope you found this video helpful. For those of you looking to make sense of the volatility in the next 3 months, I'd be very curious to hear what your thoughts are on this. I'm sure some of you have different opinions, and I'd love to hear your rationale behind whichever direction you think the market's headed. Take care, everyone. Good luck trading, and I'll see you in our next update.